You know, we should make this review more authentic.
This is dumb.
Hey guys, this is Justin
And Ben
at the Srava Review, and today marks the 20th anniversary of a movie that nobody is celebrating.
But we are.
Yes, and that is, of course, Roland Emmerich's Godzilla. So why are we talking about this movie? Mostly just due to nostalgia, because we watched this a lot. That VHS tape right there got used up a lot.
Worn.
Yeah, it really is. And this actually was my introduction to Godzilla.
Probably mine.
Yeah, this is what got me into the character and got me obsessed with the character, so I guess there's a good thing that came out of it, even though it's a crappy movie. So, like, this was a fan favorite growing up. So, we're gonna dive right into it, and he has a list.
Notes when I watched it last night.
He has notes, yes. Because, you know, rewatching this movie, it is pretty bad.
I tried not to nitpick, but there was just so much I was so confused about.
It's just not good. And I mean, to start off, the most obvious thing that's wrong with this movie is that it's not Godzilla.
It's not Godzilla. And I realized that more and more, and the movie actually uncredited itself from being Godzilla, because they said it's lizards that got affected by the radioactive material. And so the lizards are like the worms, and where the radioactivity makes them grow bigger. I was like, so it's not a dinosaur, it's nothing to do.
It's nothing like prehistoric or anything. So already that just negates everything.
Everything is gone.
And then you get to like the design of the creature. It has like the fins, and also it has the roar that's similar.
Yeah.
That's it.
But you've seen it crawl through tunnels.
Yeah, the creature is like so un-Godzilla-like. It's small. It fits inside the city.
Yeah, it's not as big as any of the buildings.
No.
It fits right through.
Yeah, so like right off the bat, this is not Godzilla.
No.
In the slightest. And that's always been like the biggest problem with the movie, like aside from the many flaws with the film, is that it's not Godzilla. This was just Roland Emmerich, just wanting to make another big budget like B movie after Independence Day. And I was like, oh hey, we can get some name recognition with Godzilla. And there we go. And you can tell that he doesn't really give a crap about Godzilla, because aside from the creature design, nothing about this movie feels like Godzilla. No. It owes so much to other movies.
Jaws.
Yeah.
Because they don't show him throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, the first act is kind of just
it's
like
all
building
about
up.
Breaking down the boats and everything.
Yeah, and even when he first appears in New York, they kind of show just parts of his body.
Yeah. Jurassic Park.
There's so much Jurassic Park in this movie, it's ridiculous.
With that. Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because they're flying through the trenches of the city of New York. Yeah. And King Kong.
King Kong, yes.
Because he has that moment too where he's Godzilla's just kind of looking at Matthew Broderick, and they're about to shoot, and he's just he does the no finger.
Yeah.
He does
that perfectly too. His finger just moves so perfectly.
And then at the end where they trap him, they shoot him, and he falls down, and they hear his heartbeat. And they're he's sad.
Sad.
And I'm so this is King Kong.
Yeah. He gets taken out by the military at the end, which Godzilla should never be taken out by the military.
I don't know how he's standing on the bridge.
Yeah, that too. I don't know how he's able to stay on the bridge.
I could see him when he was running. He was kind of beating the bridge from breaking behind him, but then he got trapped and falls on the bridge.
He jumps on the bridge and lands on top of it, and the bridge doesn't collapse. There's a sense of wonder they try to play off with the Godzilla creature in this movie.
Yeah.
And that's not Godzilla. The big example is the scene at the beginning when Matthew Broderick's character is being briefed by the sergeant. You get the one moment which is a good visual of him standing inside the footprint and the camera zooming out.
Yeah.
And you got General Dad from Small Soldiers just oh, you're standing in your sample.
Yeah.
And it's a great visual. But when Matthew Broderick realizes he's standing inside the footprint, this awe-inspiring music plays. And it's straight out of Jurassic Park. It's something that would happen in a Jurassic Park movie where it's a sense of wonder that there's this big creature out there. That's not Godzilla.
No, they just saw him destroy they just came from the ship being destroyed. And everyone died.
Yeah.
Why is this wonderful?
Yeah, and then also there's a couple shots of Godzilla walking through the city, when he's first approaching the bunch of fish, and it plays that music.
Yeah.
This movie owes so much more to other films than Godzilla, to the point where it feels so disassociated with the character. Aside from the kind of similarity that there's a giant monster.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing to Godzilla
giant monster made by atomic bombs.
Yeah, that's the closest association to Godzilla this film has. Like, he doesn't even breathe fire. Like, they tried to...
I noticed it. He breaks like a car, or something explodes in the car, and his breath blows the explosion, so it looks like fire. Yeah. They tried.
They do it twice in the movie, too.
They did, yeah. They did it twice.
They're so trying. They're like, ha, get it? It's Godzilla.
He's blowing fire.
Of course, the funniest thing about this creature is the fact that Toho officially renamed him Zilla.
That's the funniest thing.
And they totally, make fun of him in the later Godzilla films. There's the scene in Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. That's the full title.
God.
And there's this, meeting going on. They're talking about Godzilla sightings.
Yeah.
And then one guy's like, well, wasn't that attack in New York a few years ago? Wasn't that Godzilla? And the Americans claim, but we have our doubts.
They said, screw you, America!
And then Godzilla actually fights Zilla in Godzilla Final Wars.
That's right.
As in he just knocks him over with his tail and blows him up with his fire breath, and that's it.
Real fire breath.
It's great.
Zilla's there. I need a car first. Let me just kind of fix this up.
Moving past the Godzilla creature, or Zilla, whatever you want to call him, moving past all of that, as a movie, this doesn't work in the slightest.
No.
Because I was trying to think, how does a movie like Independence Day, which is kind of the same thing. It's a big budget B movie. So that's an alien invaders movie, while this one is a giant monster movie. Yeah. What makes that work and that considered like a classic, but this one not? Aside from the whole getting the Godzilla character wrong thing.
The characters.
The characters, yes. The characters in Independence Day are all cliched and everything and by the numbers, but the actors are so great. Like Will Smith, Jeff Goldblum, even Bill Pullman. They have charisma and charm. Mm-hmm. And in this you get Matthew Broderick, who's not a bad actor.
No, I like him and stuff.
In this one, he has some really bad line reads. There's a couple bad line reads that he has in the movie that come off as really awkward.
Oh my god. Oh my god, she took it.
And his character, literally is, not a character. You look at his character, and you see he's kind of the nerdy scientist guy. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, so is he going to be a wimpy scientist guy who kind of grows some courage as the movie progresses? Not really.
No.
He's just a scientist.
He doesn't evolve at all. He's just, it's the same throughout, and then he just gets his girl at the end.
Yeah. That's it. And then, yeah.
There's nothing else. She's literally the same the entire time.
Yeah, the main actress, the love interest, I don't think she's done anything else aside from this.
I don't even know who that is.
She's bland. Completely bland.
Yeah. She's just drooling at the TV screen every time they show him. She's like, oh, turn it up! And then she yells to him to turn it up. He does it and she just leans up and just turns the knob anyway.
Sure. The rest of the side characters, Hank Azaria, he's trying, but there's no material for him to work with.
Nope. None of the Simpsons cast can do anything in this movie.
No, Harry Shearer as the news reporter, the news anchor, he's just there. You get a Nancy Cartwright cameo as the secretary. That's kind of neat. But
her story went past the window. And he looks back and it's gone, and he turns back as the tail. It's always raining in this movie.
Oh my god.
And they mentioned it, and she's on the phone. They said it's going to be like this all week. And that was it.
It's 24/7 rain.
It has not stopped. When they were in that gift shop with the pregnancy test.
No, I think it was still drizzling a little.
I thought it stopped a little bit.
It was so ridiculous.
And it really,
Maybe it was to hide the effects, so you could put rain, effect over the CGI maybe.
Yeah, it's always dark.
Yeah,
it's always nighttime.
It's always murky.
Mostly, yeah.
So I think it's done to hide the effects to make it
to hide everything.
This is just rain.
It's just rain.
The movie.
Rain the movie
featuring a lizard monster.
Lizard monster.
This movie is a typical Roland Emmerich movie.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, it's kind of the simplest Roland Emmerich movie.
There's not a lot of destruction.
Yeah.
Which is I'm thinking this monster is running through the streets of New York perfectly enough.
Yeah.
Where he's not breaking anything, but his tail's hitting stuff in the background a little bit.
And New York is not a wide open space.
Yeah, it's very confined. I've been there once.
And it's
like some parts of Chicago where you are very tight.
Yeah.
He's just walking through.
Yeah.
Every building is fine except for the MetLife building with the hole in it.
That's still standing.
It's still standing. Because you're going to fix that, right? We can just patch that up. Just patch that up. There's no other structural work or anything else we need to do.
Yeah. But, like, the movie is a typical Roland Emmerich movie. Yeah. Even though it's kind of, like, the simplest one, it's still bloated and overlong. So it's 2 hours and, like, 18 minutes.
God, it took forever.
And it feels like Infinity War feels shorter than this movie.
Yeah.
And I was watching the movie, and you get to the moment where they fake kill Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I looked to see how much is left, and there's still 50 minutes left of the movie.
Because you have to put Jurassic Park in the movie now.
Yeah, and, like, so it still has that typical Roland Emmerich problem.
Yeah.
Where it's bloated, there's too many side characters, there's too many side plots. For a movie that's about, like, just trying to stop a giant monster, there's side stories.
Where's our croissant?
You said this was French roast.
Ah oui, regardez. C'est marqué French roast.
I don't know why the French are there.
Yeah,
they explained it, but it doesn't make any sense.
So, like, the French people were, like, responsible for the nuclear test that caused Godzilla, I guess, so they wanted to, like, rectify their problem.
So by helping them, they fixed their wrongdoing in the past?
It makes them feel better, I guess. And, of course, like, Roland Emmerich movie, there's stereotypes galore. Mm-hmm. Although, not as much.
Yeah, there aren't really too many
stereotypes. Like, Broderick is just bland.
Yeah.
You know, everybody is just bland. But you do have the stereotypes. You have the French stereotypes.
God.
Which every scene is reminding you that they're French.
Yeah.
No croissant.
And then you have the mayor stereotype.
The mayor stereotype. You have the mayor stereotype of like, oh, it's all about the votes. It's all about being reelected. The character is nothing, but the reason behind the character is what makes it interesting.
Because he's Mayor Ebert,
which I didn't even hear.
That's his name. Whose campaign thumbs up. And he has an assistant named Gene.
Who does the little thumbs down in his face at the end of it.
So I wonder what that's a reference to.
Oh my god. He always wanted to feed him sweets. He's always hungry for candy. Why? Because he's big?
Because I guess Roger Ebert is a big guy. I guess that's just that kind of a jab at Roger Ebert. That's
gotcha! Wasn't it because did they make fun of Independence Day?
They criticized Independence Day and Stargate.
And then when they criticized this one...
They criticized it because they're like, you put us in the movie and don't even have us get killed by Godzilla.
You did all this wrong.
Yeah.
This is completely wrong.
Even they're like, you got this wrong.
Note, military is dumb.
My note that I wrote was incompetent military.
Military is dumb.
But the military is a bunch of idiots.
Oh my god.
And they make it so like, because again, this Godzilla can't get killed by military, so that means the military has to miss him every time they fire at him.
And they're in the middle of a city.
And it makes him look even stupider that like, not one single bullet can hit Godzilla.
Yeah.
But then again, I guess they could lose him, because you can lose Godzilla in New York.
Where is he? We lost him. Like, how? And then the general says that. How did you lose him? I'm like...
Or what Matthew Broderick was like, this is the perfect place to hide.
No, it's not.
But like no other island in the world, this is a place where he can easily hide.
How'd you hide in New York City?
I don't get it.
How does, like, there's not a single person around who saw him, like, trying to crawl into the ground or something?
I mean, they evacuated the city, so I guess it's empty.
Godzilla's pregnant. Honestly, that's not...
I'm not even worried about that. That's fine.
Well, okay, like, I'm not opposed to doing something, like, weird or different with the Godzilla character. I mean, if it was the Godzilla character.
Yeah.
Because the movie Shin Godzilla goes in some really weird directions with the character. Mm. As long as you keep the essence of Godzilla there, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But this movie doesn't even keep the essence of the character, and then does this random thing by having him be pregnant and lay
asexual,
eggs.
So they don't need a mate or whatever.
Yeah, and he lays eggs, and of course we get to the third act, which was just done because Lost World came out a year ago, and that movie's really popular. Mm-hmm. So we have raptors in our movie now. During the climax, when I was watching the movie last night, I was thinking, like, I wish I was watching a Godzilla movie.
Yeah. The one thing I will not slide on a little bit when it's done monster. He's sitting at the elevator, hitting the button, and they just slowly but everyone else they killed, they jumped at him.
Yeah.
But he's sitting there like, and then he gets inside and he's hitting it, and then he's able to kick him out with his boot.
I don't know. And the way the Godzilla,
They are.
The way the Godzilla babies jump after the guys are like a raptor does.
Yeah, it's exactly what that is. I'm like, why didn't they do that to Matthew Broderick when he's sitting there at the elevator?
We're gonna talk about like some of the positives because I
have positives.
I have to admit there are some positives with this movie
that I liked. Yes,
I do think the movie has a strong opening. Like the build-up is good, but then again, I've always kind of enjoyed the build-up in Roland Emmerich movies. Like he knows how to make it kind of feel like it's like a special like event or something crazy's like about to happen.
Yeah.
So I like the build-up, and I think the first act of this movie is actually decent.
Yeah.
Like the opening scene where Godzilla attacks that like Japanese boat is actually the only Godzilla-esque scene in the entire movie. So that was a good sequence. Even as illogical as that scene is, when the French guy goes to talk to the Japanese guy, as much as that makes no sense because they start speaking in completely different languages.
Yeah, the French guy is speaking English to the Chinese guy.
Yeah, and the Chinese guy knows what he's saying, so he says, but like...
With fire.
Yeah, but I do like the idea of him sitting there going like, Godzilla. I think that's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, it is cool. But yeah, like you said, it's cool, but the logic... Yeah, just like the pier scene is my...
yes.
Where the guy's fishing, but the logic there, I'm like, is Godzilla poking at the bomber? Is he... Wouldn't he get pulled in with it if it was Godzilla? Is Godzilla close to the water? Wouldn't the water... Yeah.
Yeah, like I like that.
But I like the pier scene.
I even like the scene where they find the boat to like wash the shore. Like that was a cool visual.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, and then you get to like the pier scene. Godzilla's first attack in the movie is a really good sequence.
Yeah.
And then the pier scene is the best. Like when the guy's running as the pier's just getting destroyed behind him.
I like that.
This movie is made at the tail end of the practical effects era. And when there is practical effects in the movie, it's great.
Yeah.
Like when they destroy the Chrysler building, you know, and that falls down, that shot's great.
Yep.
Or when they blow up Madison Square Garden at the end. But
I like blowing up Madison Square Garden, but it's blown up the exact same way as the White House in Independence Day.
Yeah, it is.
Where it kind of breaks down the windows and it goes. I watched it, I was like, that's the same way it did it in the White House. But it looks awesome.
Yeah. So
exactly.
That's great. And like most of the time when Godzilla's on screen, as illogical as some of the stuff may be, especially like Godzilla's size never really matches up. It's just never consistent.
No.
But those sequences are entertaining for what they are. They're fun, like monster movie sequences. And like I was saying, the scene where the Star Wars scene where the helicopters are flying through like the corridors, kind of like of the city. I think that's a cool concept that like New York is such a narrow place that they have to kind of maneuver through it. Yeah. And I think that's a fun idea. Now it doesn't work for Godzilla because Godzilla shouldn't be that small. Yeah. But taking away the Godzilla aspect of it, it's a fun idea.
Which makes it a little more logical for him losing.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different ways to go around. Yeah. You can like cut around a corner and then pop out and just destroy.
Yeah, or even like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's kind of funny the scene where Godzilla's kneeling down and pops up and bites the helicopter.
Yeah, he's like waiting for him to come.
Yeah, it's a fun little moment. That stuff works.
The whole reveal is great.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about all these Roland Emmerich movies is that all the stuff that's in the trailer where it's like you don't know what it is. Yeah. That all stuff is great with the policeman and it's bumping and he's just like, what?
Yeah, and you just see like the disaster, like the debris falling down.
Yeah, the debris falling in the back and that's it. That stuff's all good. I still laugh at the video camera.
Yes.
Where he's like freaking out and he can't get the tape and he just... I don't know, I still chuckled. I was like, yep.
We used to always imitate that when we were younger.
Yeah, all the time.
We used to shoot movies on little mini DV tapes. And we would always do that. We'd always like pretend to do that and then click it.
And that's it, yeah.
So yeah, I laughed at that moment too. That was a good moment.
And for some reason, I kind of chuckled when the French guy does the voice.
The Elvis of the Southern one?
Yeah, he goes like, they're like, why can't this guy talk? And then he says something like a Southern accent, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. I don't know where he does this thing. Yeah. And he goes, thank you very much. I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. He's mimicking Elvis. Yeah. But then they have to cut away, and he has to explain to everyone what he's... joke. Yeah, and I'm like, that doesn't work.
Yeah, no. You could have streamlined this a bit. It would have been just like a fun 90s monster movie. Yeah. Still be stupid, very illogical, but it would have been like a decent movie. Yeah. And like, another thing that I was thinking, like, because like, why does this not work compared to Independence Day, is that like, you know, when there's no Godzilla in this movie, it's boring. It really is.
Everyone's so bland and just... Ugh. They try to make Hank Azaria character like funny with little quippy lines in there. Yeah. It doesn't really work.
None of those work. No comedy works in this movie.
No.
I was noticing that when I was watching the movie. I was just getting bored when there was no Godzilla. When there was Godzilla, the movie has energy and it's like fun and exciting. But when there's no Godzilla, it's just like, okay. But in Independence Day, the characters, or at least the actors, are good enough to carry those scenes to where you can watch those scenes without explosions and you're fine.
You can watch Will Smith getting out of bed as everyone's running around outside. Yeah. He's just like, they're moving. It's just like, what? Okay.
But it works.
Yeah.
The effects in Independence Day hold up.
Most of them do. Yeah.
And in this movie, no.
No, not at all.
There's a couple of shots where the CGI in Godzilla looks alright.
The close-ups on him a lot are good.
Godzilla stuff is okay at times, really bad at others. They did have some practical, like, Godzilla babies in some scenes, and that was fun. I love practical effects. But the worst CGI in the movie is the Godzilla babies.
Yeah, oh, definitely. You can...
There's a couple of shots where if you look closely, like, at their feet, it doesn't look like their feet are connecting to the floor.
They're just kind of, like, hovering
Yeah, they're kind of, like, hovering over the floor. That stuff does not work at all. And that's another reason why this movie doesn't hold up at all. The effects are just very dated. The practical stuff looks great.
Yeah. I feel like when you build a city, like, the buildings, they have, like, structure and, like, supports below the ground. So if he's going through the entire city, these buildings should be, like, they have no support.
They should just be crumbling at that point.
I've been in the subway a few times when I was in New York, and it's not that big. I don't know where he's going, so...
He's able to crawl through the ground, though.
The entire city is still standing.
I watched this movie again, and I was shocked at, like... I realized how much I watched this movie as a kid, because the first act of the movie, I remembered almost every scene, beat for beats, even though I hadn't watched this movie in years. Yeah. But the one shot I didn't remember was near the end when Godzilla crawls through the subway.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that scene at all, and that scene is awful looking. Yeah. And it's just so awkward the way he kind of crawls through it, like, what is this? Yeah, he's like doing that.
Yeah, he just goes,
I'm like, what is this movie?
The freaking taxi chase. How are they out beating him? His feet.
How are they outrunning Godzilla? Like,
even when they were running, they outran him, and I'm like, how? 2 steps and he's there. And the ending.
Sequel bait?
Yeah, the sequel. You guys love this movie so much. We're gonna make another one.
No, they're not. No. Although they did do an animated series.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, the animated series is actually pretty decent. I saw a few episodes like years ago when I was younger. But like, Godzilla actually fights other monsters in the movie, which is fun. And he actually has the atomic breath in the anime show.
He got it.
So the anime show is actually better than the movie.
Yeah. When he jumps into the water.
Yeah, when Godzilla jumps into the water and he just like perfectly goes under and just
submarine shoots itself.
Yeah.
Because it's the torpedoes. How does Godzilla see the torpedoes? He's like dodging.
I don't know.
They shoot themselves.
I don't know how like helicopters work.
Yes.
But is it possible to have like that many helicopters like next to each other at the same time?
Yeah.
I feel like the wind from like the propellers like wouldn't
affect and just when they were going through some of the city stuff, they were like
shoo, shoo,
they're flying around like
Star Wars.
Like you have a lot of coordination to get around all that.
This is a giant monster movie.
Yeah.
But the most over-the-top shot in the movie doesn't involve the monster. It's the shot where all the helicopters fly in and are all right next. There's like 20 helicopters.
Yeah.
It's the most over-the-top thing I've ever seen.
Did they say they think he's hiding in a building?
I feel like they did.
How is he hiding in a building? How do you... Because the buildings usually... They're not that... Some buildings are not that wide. Like, I don't know how you... The second time they try to trap him.
Yeah.
They have, like, the fish, and they have the lights all on the fish. Then they have all the military surrounding it with beams flying like this, trying to attract them. And he stops and looks at them and goes,
Nope.
No. And then leaves. And then it's when the guy stutters, fire! And then he ducks, and it just shoots everything behind the building. Oh, my God.
So Godzilla is not a good movie.
No. I do feel like if it wasn't called Godzilla, a lot of these nitpicks would be gone.
Yeah.
It's just a cheesy disaster movie.
A lot of the hatred for the movie would be gone. People still probably wouldn't like it, but if the actual like full-on hatred for the movie would not be there if it wasn't called Godzilla.
Yeah, people would be like, oh, it's super cheesy, but people who like that's fine.
Yeah, and like I said, there's good elements to it. There's good like bits to it. There's some fun sequences, you know, so there's fun moments.
Yeah.
It's just overall, there's a lot of stupid and illogical stuff in it.
Yeah.
And a lot
everything about Godzilla doesn't work.
Yeah, and it's just really dull most of the time when there's no Godzilla.
Yep.
It's not the worst movie ever.
No, it's definitely not.
And I have to give it some props because it is what got me into Godzilla, so it is...
Yes, there's very, very nostalgia with this. We watched it all the time.
All the time. Like, so much. Like I said, to the point where like I was rewatching it for the first time in years, and I still remembered almost everything beat for beat.
I remember that opening. Yeah. I remember that yellow opening with all like the nuclear footage stuff, everything from before.
I remember this movie so vividly, and I haven't seen it in years, and I don't plan on watching it for years.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good after that.
But there is a lot of nostalgia for it.
Yes. We were also growing up seeing movies around the time of like Batman and Robin and stuff. We're like, oh, this is fun because we're a kid, and it's exactly what it was marketed for.
Yeah. But I have mostly nostalgia for it for just like my younger years, for watching it on VHS over and over and wearing out that tape.
Yep.
That's what got me into Godzilla, because I remember like my mom just saying something like, "Oh, you know, there's more of those, right?" And I went, "There's more." And luckily, like you were saying, I was a very gullible kid.
Yeah, everything you just liked, you're like, okay, sweet.
Yeah, because like I think the first Godzilla movie I saw after that was one of the 70s ones. It might have been Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, so it's very different than this movie, and I was just like, oh yeah, it's Godzilla. I just accepted it. I had no problem.
And we used to have the small little TV with the VCR in the van.
Yeah.
And every time we'd go on a trip across the state to Indiana or Ohio, we'd stop at those rest stations, and he's in the VHS section looking for Godzilla movies, because that's the only place we could find them.
Yeah, because they always had those little gift shops. Yeah. And they would always have Godzilla VHS tapes, like on like the little stacks there. Yeah. And we'd always be looking for it. We'd have to stop every time.
Only place we can find them.
All that was brought on from this movie, so gotta give it something.
Yeah, I mean, in anything in life, something gives you the inspiration or something that like pushes you, like, oh, I want to see more of this, and you look back like, oh, that first stuff wasn't really the best. But
what it led to worked out.
Yes, exactly.
So that's Godzilla, 1998's Godzilla.
Done.
Happy 20th anniversary. We're here to celebrate it. You're welcome. Thumbs up.
Which one?
The medium. And yeah, that's all we really got to say.
I think we said everything we could.
And yeah, so until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.